Give it a thumbs up there like that.
What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Tonight, we're talking House of the Dragon. We're talking Spider-Man Brand New Day. But before we get into, we have a special announcement by Mr. Doug, fellow nerd Doug.
What is going on, fellow nerds? Now, normally we wouldn't open up a live stream quite like this, but I'm sure all of you out there are already pretty familiar with our good pal Chris, aka Fatherly Fandom. We've streamed with him quite a few times. We've collaborated with him. Great friend of the channel, good friend in real life too. But unfortunately, their family was caught in the wildfires in the state of Washington that's been going on, specifically around the Spokane area. Now, it's always terrible to have to say these type of things, but it is awful when nature has its way, and you end up losing so much. Now, thankfully, him and his family did make it out safe.
Then we got a few comments out in the YouTube chat. Remember, oh man, my cord is all stuck under my chair. Grassy Boy says it's Dinky Man Soul's friend. Hi, Grassy Boy. Thanks for joining us. Brian Mulheron, forget that show. Talk about Spider-Man. We definitely will get to that. If you want us to do Spider-Man first, we certainly can. Superman opening credits. I don't get that. Sullivan Richter says hello. What's up? He was just dancing over my shoulder a minute ago. It's good to have you out in the chat, Dinky Man Soul, aka Sullivan Richter. Oh, you know what? It didn't let me share the.
Yeah, I saw that.
There
we go. It looks like they don't even let it go on as a link. You have to copy and paste it. Well, it's going to stink for those of you that are in mobile, if you are watching this on mobile instead of on a computer. But either way, since YouTube won't let us share it as a link, I went ahead and I put it in the chat, but, just go ahead and copy and paste it and put it in your address bar.
Please, and if you can help Chris, please do. A great guy who, this came on like gangbusters. It just happened all of a sudden. They weren't prepared, didn't have time to prepare. So they pretty much lost everything. So please help if you can. And like Doug said, if you can't help, at least share it, and hopefully it finds somebody that can help. Because I know Chris would help if the situation was reversed.
Oh, he would, for sure.
All right. And I guess, before we get into everything, Dave, Doug, how's it going tonight, gentlemen?
Well, beyond what we just discussed, I am fan-freaking-tastic. I was happy to see, last Wednesday that Spider-Man with you guys got the early screening, and have you guys seen it made $927 million over the weekend?
It's already passed $1 billion.
Oh, it's already past $1 billion now. Was that including Sunday then?
I think
today. It includes today?
It might. I don't know. I just saw a thing that said it just passed $1 billion. Yeah. Either way, it's only been out for
$1 billion
4 days.
in 5 days. And, we weren't wrong. That movie, it's amazing. That's why Chris wanted to get on here and talk about that tonight. So, I assume we're going to get to that first. But before we do that, Doug, how are you doing?
Well, Dave, let me tell you, I am outstanding. And you know why? Because I know that we get to talk not only about House of the Dragon, but we get to talk about Spider-Man later on. Full spoilers. That's right. I cannot wait to talk about you gentlemen. I have not seen it twice yet. I wanted to, but I did not have time to get out of the house and, go to the theater again. I wanted to, but that is on my plans to definitely go see it again.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go see it again tomorrow.
Nice. But before we get into all that, Keith, sir, how are you doing?
Well, gentlemen, I am tremendous. Sometimes it's days like this, you really count your blessings with what you have and everything else, and that definitely feels like one of those days. I'm hoping Chris and family get back on their feet soon. This is a tough time for everybody out in the Spokane area. So wishing them all, the best of luck getting back on their feet, getting things together, and hopefully, homes are rebuilt and insurance companies are, giving them what they deserve for this to get back on their feet, and everything's good to go soon. With that being said, what would you guys like to talk first? Would you like to talk Spider-Man No Way Home, or Brand New Day, I should say? Or would you like to talk...
I like to talk. We should talk Spider-Man first, because for one, it happened first, and for two, it's the better of the two that we're going to be discussing tonight. So,
Sure, I'm good with anything.
Yeah.
Let's talk Spider-Man Brand New Day. And it's hard to not talk about it with...
Oh, yeah, real quick. Again, full spoilers, everybody. This is your last warning. If you have not seen the movie yet, exit, pause, wait, skip ahead. We're talking Spider-Man Brand New Day, full spoilers. All right, this is your last warning. In 3, 2, 1. Yes, it was obviously Jean Grey.
I don't think,
Yeah.
As I said, the worst kept secret.
Elephant in the room, right?
Yes.
Come on.
And
I mean,
even before we start, I just want to talk. There's a lot of people who online are saying, Jean Grey would never act like that. First off, she hasn't been trained by Xavier yet. She was in a very bad place because of what happened to her sister and everything. And there was a reason the Phoenix Force was using her.
Oh, was there clarification that she does already have the Phoenix Force?
No. But the fact that the Phoenix Force chose her because she could.
I see. Okay, all right.
Yeah, she hasn't developed her powers yet, and everything that she did in the movie was completely redeemable. She didn't hurt, she didn't kill anybody.
Well, no, she did have a guy jump in front of a moving vehicle.
She did? Maybe that's the way I need to see it again.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's one of those where she did hurt people. People did die as a result of what she did. Is she completely unredeemable? I don't know about that. I still say what Wanda did was worse. But yeah, it does make it... it's very similar. In a way, it's similar to what Wanda did, but not as long as the way that she held that whole town captive. But yes, Jean Grey, in this movie, she does hold a good section of New York captive for a little while. Again, there was a reason for it. Keith stated she was in a very dark place. It was she was doing whatever she thought she had to do to fight against this shady government organization that was holding her sister. And that was kind of like the main premise of this movie, was the fact that Jean Grey is only a villain in this movie because the government agency that is supposed to clean up after all of these alien attacks and supposed to protect against these super villain maniac types are actually the real villains. They're the ones that are rounding up what will soon to come to find out are mutants, and they're experimenting on them.
You could say that department went rogue.
Aha.
Nothing?
Was there
that rogue on the bus, by the way?
Let me just say something,
I don't think
too.
anybody bought a dad joke. Huh.
Let me just talk about Jean Grey doing this also. One, she's untrained. She's in a dark place. Her only family has been taken hostage. She doesn't know where she is. She's alone against a basically government entity. And this will be...
A government entity, by the way, that also lies to Peter.
But
yeah,
that'll be the reason. This will be one of the reasons that people are scared of mutants and fear them and everything else. This will help lead into why some heroes are accepted, but mutants are kind of feared and hated, and why groups like Friends of Humanity, the Purifiers and everything, the Reavers, will be able to join. So, if she would have been 28 and had been at Xavier's school for 10 years or something along those lines, it was doing something like this, it would have been different. She's a kid, no training, alone, and trying to, get her sister back. So the other one who's like, Jean would never do that, has obviously never read the comics because she's
Also,
willing to
not
go.
to mention, we I we shouldn't have to keep like repeating this time and time again, but like this is a different universe from the comics. And speaking of the comics, by the way, how many times have all of these stories been told and retold and retold and retold? I mean, I'm sitting here, I've got behind me like a whole bunch of different comics, including I've got the latest version of Ultimate Spider-Man, not the original Ultimate Spider-Man. I mean, it's the same name but totally different story. So they do this all the time. They're constantly changing up some of the backstories, some of the common things that they're the time frame. Spider-Man was originally set in like the 50s and 60s or whatever, and then now it's been bumped up to modern day. Now he's carrying around a brand new flip out Samsung or Sony phone or something. So like, I mean, all these things are going to change, even if this isn't exactly the same Jean Grey character that you know from the comics or from your '90s cartoon. Um, that doesn't make it not Jean Grey. It's just another interpretation of the character.
Yeah.
And now, getting to the movie plot, 4 years have passed, and we see a wonderful little montage of Peter fighting Scorpion, Tombstone, Boomerang, Tarantula, the Hand, and also working with Detective Jean DeWolf, who was a major player in the comics. That was very nice to see. I liked their friendship in the movie. Them like kind of chatting on thing, and at one point she's like, "You don't even know my kids' names." And he's like, "Pepe," but then he learns their names later in the thing. I thought it was really nice, and of course, while this is going on, he is watching Ned's reels, TikToks, whatever they are, about him and MJ at MIT. And you saw early, it was like, "Oh, freshman year, we just got here," and then halfway through our senior year, and they did a good job of handling this time jump by showing things and having it make sense by just interjecting little videos like that. It was nice.
And I love and I appreciate montages. I know that people think sometimes it's corny, oh, that's 80s. No, honestly, it helps to add more information to a movie. Sure, we don't need to take away an entire chunk just to show him fighting the Scorpion. It's cool if we just have part of a montage, of Spider-Man fighting a bunch of his villains to show what he's been doing over the course of 4 years, as Keith just said. So I appreciate him. I love him.
Yeah, and a lot of times these movies open up with big fight scenes. And so this was a nice little way of having a couple different fight scenes going in and having comic book accurate scenes thrown in there just for a little nerdy fun.
Another movie did this in the MCU, The Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
Because who wants to see the origin story for the Hulk again? We all know it.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think I would like to see that again. And Dave, I'm also still waiting to find out what Batman's origin story is.
Yeah, there's got to be.
When are we going to see that?
Movie.
Keeping his origin a mystery is just making him more and more popular.
Yeah, whoever wrote that's a joker.
Hey-o.
You've got to stop giving away dad jokes.
Give them away all that you can, sir. We give a few away for free, then we start charging. But, then we see a tank driving through Manhattan. Spider-Man's trying to stop it. The Punisher gets involved, crashes into the Department of Damage Control prison. Spider-Man opens the door, and it's an old lady who has no idea where she is. And we see this person possessing people, jumping from person to person. And Spider-Man...
that gave me really... you ever see that movie with Denzel Washington? Where it's
Training Azazel? Day?
No.
Because, hold on. Fallen King Kong has got nothing on me.
What? Weirdo. Hang on a second. No, I think it's called Fallen, and it's a demon that jumps from body to body, and it's hard for him to follow. And that's what I thought was going on. Like, all right, now I can't figure out who the villain is because I didn't think Jean would be a bad guy in this movie. If anything, I thought she'd be like naive and helpful. But but I'm glad the way it went.
If it would have been from Jean's perspective, it wouldn't have seemed as evil. Like she's like, I've got to get inside this prison. I'm going to do what I can. You know, hopefully they would have shown her trying to protect lives, especially innocent people. But this was from Spider-Man's point of view. And he, of course, at the beginning of the movie is like, oh my God, who is this villain trying to do this? Because, you know, we know about multiple attacks on Department of Damage Control, looking for something called VMAX. You know,
Yeah.
Peter talks to the head of Department of Damage Control, trying to find out. He has no idea what it means. And then Peter decides to go to Yelena Belova, new Avenger, to discuss what's going on. And what a great scene. I mean, her office is
Such a professional office.
Yes.
I love it. I mean, it's really showing that she's taking her role as leader of the New Avengers seriously by having such an accommodating meeting place.
You know, I wouldn't shy away from going there either if I had a meeting
No,
with her.
no, not at all. In fact, I've made multiple appointments.
Yeah, I mean,
I
now
actually
does she take over like for the old Black Widow? Is she also, you know, like how Scarlett Johansson's, what's her name?
Natasha Romanoff.
Natasha
Romanoff,
Romanoff?
yes,
Yeah.
Natasha, where she was at the, you know, Avengers facility, always getting the emails and everything. So that's now Yelena's role.
I
Is that
guess
right?
so.
And I did, like you, Doug. I was trying to set up an appointment with her multiple times, and she sent me this really nice signed restraining order. So, you know,
Hey, that's an autograph. You hang on
that's
to that.
right.
buddy.
It's going up on eBay in a month.
Ryan Mulheron says it's getting cringy in here. Why?
You know, I wanted to bring up something with you guys because I kind of want to tack on to something that Keith was bringing up earlier when he said that, you know, people were complaining, saying that wasn't Jean Grey. Well, you had mentioned the idea of her jumping into other people, and I saw some people saying that's not one of her powers.
Yes,
Excuse me? Yes, it very much is. It even if you want to try and deny and say, oh well, I didn't read any comic where she did that. If you've watched any of the original X-Men movies, Charles did it like all the time. Like, I mean, there was multiple scenes. There was one, I think, when they were in a museum or an airport or something, and he was speaking to Cyclops through like some people. So yeah, it's a very normal psychic thing that apparently they do. And Kevin Feige
Yeah, he
was
did it.
wasn't it Kevin Feige who worked on the original X-Men
he
movies?
was, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
he did
well,
that in Days of Future Past when he was trying to stop
that's
Mystique
right.
from going
Yes,
through the
you're
air,
right.
taking that flight.
Yeah. So they've shown this happening multiple times. This is
And-
not new.
And Brian says, yeah, and having her be more telepathic than telekinetic was weird. Once again, she's young. She will be developing her powers through X-Men movies and getting to Xavier's school. And Grassy Boy said, this is cool. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And in response to Brian's saying it's getting cringy in here, I don't believe anyone your age should be using the word cringy. According to my kids, that is a total unk move. So, and let's see, Brian says Charles' power is not Jean's power. Jean has always been more telekinetic than telepath, but she is also a telepath.
I didn't say that Charles' power is Jean's power. I was using it as an example because they do have very similar power sets.
I'm wondering though.
I mean, a lot of
Brian-
the telepath / telekinetics can do that. And Jean is supposed to end up becoming an what is an omni level? What do they call it?
Omega level.
Omega
Omega.
level mutant. So she ends up, I think they said that her powers eventually, even without the Phoenix Force, her powers can surpass Charles.
She's definitely
Well,
Omega.
I wanted to ask Brian while we're talking about him if he saw. I mean, obviously he saw the movie. I want to know what his rating is. Did he give it a 9.5 as well?
It's walking. Oh, Brian, you're terrible.
No,
You're
her
so
power
wrong for
set
that.
includes walking. Oh,
Oh,
dear God.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Power of a working spine. Oh.
That's
Oh, boy.
that's anti-mutant right there.
Oh, and Brian says it's a 9.5. All four of us are giving it a 9.5. That's tremendous.
Mm.
Anyone else out in the chat, please let us know if you've seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, what you think. You know, after this scene, we do see Peter run into MJ and Ned at a party. He has flowers. They don't recognize him. MJ has a new boyfriend. You know, Peter's pretty devastated about it. And while he's working, he starts to notice some organic webbing forming, much like Peter 2, who he thought was pretty cool back in No Way Home. And he decides
Yeah, they keep showing him throughout the movie. He keeps, like, rubbing on his wrist, like clearly something is bothering him.
He's got a little itch just beneath the skin.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. He can't sate it.
Can't quite get to it.
And of course, he seeks out Bruce Banner, who advises him on an inhibitor device, kind of like what he's wearing. And he ends up building one to kind of suppress his mutations after a couple tries. It was nice. It wasn't like he just went, oh, there we go. It's working, everybody. You know, he had some issues.
It's kind of like the last Spider-Man movie where they spent so much time figuring out how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even really need to do that for that long. Some movies just they don't understand that. But you know, you give it 5 minutes of a montage, if you will, of them trying to figure out what the right procedure is. They did that in Iron Man and it worked. They did that in a Spider-Man movie. When you show them developing whatever power or whatever thing they need, it's so much better.
Brian also said in the chat, she's also follically gifted. Two of us on this stream are feeling attacked right now.
You're in timeout, Brian.
Away webs.
Oh man. To go on to what you were saying there, Dave. Oh geez, about the montage thing. You know, the Spider-Man movies. I don't care much for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Not my favorite movie, but it does have one of the better montages when it shows Peter trying to fix up his suit and redo his webbing to counter Electro's power. And again, I always like when they show that kind of stuff, especially with Peter in these Spider-Man movies, because it reminds us that he's more than just the fact that he got bitten by a spider. He's very intelligent. He's, a scientist and engineer. We see that later on in the comics when he's an adult, that he ends up making inventions, selling them, and that's how he ends up making money after, obviously making or taking photos of Spider-Man isn't going to keep panning out for the rest of his life. But yeah, I like when they show stuff like that. But speaking of money, I've been meaning to ask you guys this. I think I might have in the chat or something, but like, how is he making money in this movie? I don't think they showed us.
Well,
this is not one of these movies.
Clearly not.
And it was one of the
don't think
theories
about
that
it
I
like
read
that.
that I said to you guys was that somebody said he was making money because people were filming him on Instagram or putting it up on Instagram. He was one of them, and he was making money off all the clicks. That was somebody's theory.
Okay.
Could be. You never know.
No, definitely could be. We also, obviously, he ended up creating not only one to neutralize his powers, but one to neutralize the telepath. Which, just to jump to the end a little bit, because I don't want to forget this, because I think this is an important point. He lost that at the Department of Damage Control. William Metzger may have gotten a hold of that. We may
because when Peter told him about it, he was impressed.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. He may have that and use that against the X-Men and mutants in future movies. And it will think about Peter Parker is always, I hate to use the term sad sack, but things don't go his way. He's often has to do things like in No Way Home, give up, the love of his life to help protect the world and do all this. And I think his guilt over having built this, what will become a mutant inhibitor chip, is going to hurt him badly. And it's going to be great to see, because I think Tom Holland has the range to pull it off. But man, as soon as I saw that chip left there, I'm like, Metzger has it. If he's Friends of Humanity or whatever he's going to do, Reavers, Purifiers, whatever it's going to be, whatever group.
Some sort of anti-mutant group he's going to be a part of and behind, and he's going to be one of the people pushing for probably mutant registration and control, and he'll most likely be showing off this inhibitor chip and be like, and by the way, we've got just the tool.
So we're gonna go
Spider-Man
through-
made it. And
We're going to
Peter's
go through
like, "Oh,
Civil War
shit."
all over again. The registration and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And of
But
course,
now it's going to be focused on specifically people with powers instead of just like all vigilantes, I'm guessing.
yeah. And of course, we do see, she kind of comes up to Spider-Man talking about MJ. He goes to get her, to protect her, takes her to Frank, who
Oh,
I don't know if this is in the works, but can we please get a 22 episode season of just the Punisher and Spider-Man hanging out together
yes,
and arguing
please.
and
They did.
Spider-Man.
One thing they didn't explain in the montage was how they know each other.
they did talk about a Staten Island incident where Peter saved his life multiple times, but they never elaborated on it or showed it on film.
I'm guessing this is going to be another situation like with Black Widow, how her and Hawkeye kept talking about whatever. Budapest, yeah.
Yep.
Kept talking about Budapest. So I'm betting any money this is just going to be a throwaway gag line up until they decide, hey, we should pay that off. Let's do a prequel movie or a special presentation with Frank and Spider-Man, and they're gonna just show us how Spider-Man saved his life.
Several times.
Yes,
Several times, right?
And of course,
Ryan has a couple of more comments if you want to read them.
oh boy. Let's see. I was frankly disappointed that VMAX was not related to Venom. I think that was intentional to lead me that way. 100% was.
Yeah.
I wanted a Venom out Hulk. I thought
Ooh,
if anything was
that
going to
would've
be
been
Venom
sick.
out, I thought Scorpion. If we saw the symbiote in this movie, I thought it was going to attach itself to Scorpion at some point.
I think they knew better than to put Venom in this movie. It would have been too much. They already had enough going on as is, and we've seen in previous movies when you try to cram too many villains in, it doesn't work out. The only reason why it really worked in No Way Home is because that was kind of the entire premise from the beginning. Like they showed us all these villains coming over, and not all of them were active throughout the entire movie. A lot of them were locked away for most of it. So it was it's very rare that you can get a movie where you can cram in, like, again, the Raimi Spider-Man 3. Just was not a good idea to have Green Goblin, Sandman, and Venom. The worst Venom, by the way.
And the Hobgoblin,
Rammed
and it's I was nervous myself when I saw how many in, like, when they had the hand in there. I was like, oh, that's just one too many. That's not going to happen. He balanced it
Oh
perfectly.
yeah, they were fine because they showed up here and there. They weren't like yeah. That's the other thing that I guess I'm a little disappointed, but I guess I'm fine with. But I'm disappointed. I had a lot of theories about like why the hand were in this movie, what it meant. Does this definitely mean Daredevil's going to be in it? Are they doing something to protect? Like we were led to believe that they were holding Jean Grey, like throughout the entire movie, not that she was free and jumping into people. So, like, I'm glad that they didn't overuse them, but at the same time, like, all the theories that I had are gone.
Well, and it was funny too. First off, Brian said, good point. Matt Gargan was Venom for a while. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. But like the hand was on the movie stand that's in the theaters. You see, like, Spider-Man fighting the
As
hand.
if they were like a bigger deal than they
It was
really
a
were.
prominent in all the trailers, Spider-Man jumping at him. I thought for sure they were going to play a much bigger role in this. And like Doug, while disappointed, it's nice they introduced him because now I think we've heard they're going to be in Daredevil Born Again Season 3. So there'll be a lot that they can build off their, initial jumping in here. But just odd that they were so much in all the advertising and we're a nothing burger in this movie.
So now I
Cool.
wonder, with them being present in Daredevil, is that going to be him leading them, or is that going to be that they're rogue now again because Department of Damage Control is like being shut down or something?
I'm assuming they're going to be shut down. But, we will have to see. Or someone else will take it over and Metzger will go underground and form his group somewhere else. Because think about this too. And I was thinking about this because we've talked about it a lot. We always said Department of Damage Control got a bunch of Tony Stark's armor and stuff. If Metzger takes that stuff and merges it in with his new, Friends of Humanity group or whatever, whatever it's going to be, he could have Iron Man tech going up against the mutants. And that could be lead into an Armor Wars type thing if we do get Tony Stark back post Secret Wars. They might be building towards still doing an Armor War story, just obviously probably with the new Iron Man and not Rhodey, which I'm sure they blame him for how poorly Special Investigation did, but it definitely was not his fault.
Not at all.
And of course, I think once Frank Castle kind of saw how much Spider-Man really loved MJ and what he gave up to protect people, they kind of almost had a shared trauma. Like, man, you've lost stuff too. You're a kid and all this stuff, but you've been through a lot and you're willing to give up a lot to help people. And I think they kind of had a bonding moment with that. And I thought it was nice. And, he was protecting Peter at the end, even pretended to be him so he could escape at the end, which hearing him doing the Punisher noises and having the mask on was just great. But
I've never seen Frank so comedic, by the way. So he has definitely lightened up since the special presentation.
Since we have one last kill.
But how much time has passed in between that special presentation and today? Because we still don't know when that special presentation was supposed to take place, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Brian says, chronologically, I believe Shadowland, with DD leading the hand, was not too far removed from Brand New Day. But will the Sony Disney get in the way of that? They did go out of their way to mention that the hand was leaderless in this, and that's how Metzger was able to take them and use them with the Department of Damage Control. So if they do get broken up, the hand could be free. And I don't think it'll be Daredevil at first, leading them in Born Again. I think it's going to be Elektra. And I think when Daredevil finds out it is Elektra leading him, it's going to be a very emotional time for him.
And what if Elektra is like being all frank with them and telling them to just go around and kill everybody?
When you mean Frank, do you mean like Frank Castle, or do you mean she's telling him?
Yeah.
Let me be frank.
And now this is accidentally turned into a Daredevil Theory Palooza.
Oh, Brian said that would be a very Disney way to do it. Are you talking about Elektra leading the hand, Brian? But, we then see Peter take on the Scorpion again, who was freed by the telepath and trying to get in. And once he is freed of the telepath, he doesn't remember anything. And this is the same thing that happened when she took control of MJ and kissed him and all that stuff. She says, I don't remember anything with that or anything. And it was nice because he had multiple points of info that when he figured out Metzger was lying to him, because, when she was in my brain, she was reaching for someone named, Sarah. And he's like, oh, you remember that? But then he figures out he's lying to me because I know for a fact when she leaves you, you don't remember anything that has happened. I thought it was a very nice, easy way to handle that for Peter to figure out he's lying and, just everything. Oh, and Brian said, the Elektra thing. I think it would be pretty cool.
So the reason that he could resist her was because of his spider sense?
That's what I was assuming. And also, she's not well trained as a telepath at this point. So I think if she would have been a little further along, she could have definitely taken control. But we did see that Doctor Strange in No Way Home had a tough time.
I was just about to bring that up.
Because of the spider sense.
Yep. Peter was still able to control his body in astral form. So, yeah, that's definitely within the realm of what he's capable of. But it does add to his cool factor, though. The fact that, again, as we mentioned, Jean is an Omega level mutant. The fact that he can resist her, it's pretty cool.
Untrained at this point, though. I think further along, he may not be able to kick her out. But,
He's just giving her the props.
I love Jean Grey. I mean, love Spider-Man too. And I think, Sadie Sink was incredible as Jean Grey in this. I think she is one of the best actors out of the whole Stranger Things cast. The best, maybe the only, I don't want to say true actor out of all the kids, but she is probably working to be next level and doing all these things. I don't know if the rest of that gang will, but I'm glad we find out she was Jean Grey. And then of course they do end up, Department of Damage Control does capture Jean, and Spider-Man figures out he's got to go in and save her. Frank wants to be frank with her.
And this is also where Jean finally realizes and finds out what VMAX is.
And nothing to do with
again, multiple people's disappointment, as I've been reading.
It's like, did you ever see the original Star Trek?
I slept through the cloud scene, but yes, I saw it.
Yes. What did that alien keep calling it? V'ger for Voyager, because a part of it was rubbed off. Well, there you go. Same situation. I wonder if they drew inspiration from that movie.
And also the first Captain Marvel movie, they called her Veers. Because
That's right.
Dan was missing.
That's right.
And then, of course, Spider-Man goes to save her. He's helping out. And the Punisher gets his sniper rifle out to kill Jean. And Spider-Man takes the bullet for Jean. Jean ends up using her powers to kind of keep him alive, keep him going. Punisher rushes him to jail. Or not to jail, oh my God. Punisher rushes him to the hospital where he's recovering, and then obviously pretends to be Spider-Man so he can sneak out. One of the things go ahead.
Well, that scene where he carries him into the hospital is one of the covers on a Spider-Man.
One of the scoopers, Apocalyptic something or another, had shared many months ago a Spider-Man cover with Frank with a sniper rifle and a bullseye.
Oh.
And it was funny because after the movie came out, he reshared it and says, "If you know, you know." And I'm like, okay, he definitely had some inside information, or he made a tremendous guess about it. But
that'd be even. He's sweating bullets. Like, oh my God, please let this pan out. See, I told you, I knew.
Oh, and Brian says she was overtaken by Mastermind in the Hellfire Club saga. She never got to Omega level without Phoenix, uncanny 120 to 130-ish. That is true, but Mastermind manipulated her quite a bit too. And was she never an Omega level as just Marvel Girl? Did it take Phoenix to boost her up to that? You might be right. But just so you know, the whole Dark Phoenix saga with the Hellfire Club and Mastermind taking over and getting that will be a back issue breakdown coming soon to our channel. So keep an eye out for that, because that is one of the greatest arcs in X-Men history, which Marvel, you don't have to do that arc anytime soon. It's already been attempted twice and botched. So
they accidentally used the same writer both times. So if they keep Simon Kinberg away from it, and you know what they should do? They should start sprinkling in right away, because it's going to take like a 5-6 movies to get the full effect of Phoenix saga. So you're going to have to sprinkle it into other stories, I think.
And Kevin, your buddy Kevin Feige has said they've got stories planned out for the X-Men for 10 years.
He said, "We've got stories." That's how he said it to me anyway.
Me too. And Brian said definitely. And overall, even the post-credit scene, I know a lot of people are complaining online about it. They're like, how did, his spider tracker pick him up all the way out in space and yada yada. It's a comic book movie. I don't delve too far into that. I thought it was, still don't know if it was insinuating that Peter was teleported off planet to like a battle world thing for Secret Wars, or if there is an incursion going on with one of the other Spider-Man's planets. So their Earth is about to crash into our Earth, which could be, a part of Doomsday here coming up. But, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine for a post-credit scene. It wasn't, it wasn't Hannibal Buress talking about
putting on a Captain America thing.
Yeah.
Why would you wait? What are you waiting for? I'm glad it wasn't one of those. I've heard theories that it's actually tracking it. It was tracking Venom, but they didn't allude to anything like that. So I don't
Well,
think that's
yeah,
the
I
case.
couldn't. Venom hasn't been in this universe. It would have to be either Tom Holland's Peter Parker, I think, or one of the other Peters. And with knowing that incursions are coming in Doomsday, that'll lead into Secret Wars. Seems like that is the more likely thing. Oh, here, thank you, Doug. Doug looked up, and Jean Grey is both a telepath and telekinetic. She is only an Omega level telepath.
And that is without the Phoenix Force. She was known as Omega level when she still went by Marvel Girl.
You better believe me, brother. X-ray vision.
Thank you for looking that up, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian says, so is Spider-Man going off planet with the Shi'ar or Captain Universe or Secret Wars? I do think, because we haven't heard that Spider-Man is going to be in Doomsday, because, the Marvel deal, he can only be in so much. And I think Marvel's worried that, Tom Holland has been in like 5 of the biggest openings of all time for things.
And he also keeps threatening to quit acting and go like live on a farm somewhere with Zendaya. So like maybe they don't want to push him too much.
Well, and the thing is, he was talking in an interview. He goes, "This is the first Spider-Man movie I got to go into the writers' room and work with them." And the rumor is there was an early cut of the movie that Tom and Zendaya did not like, and they worked with them to kind of fix all this stuff up. If that's true, that's awesome.
That's really cool.
Let him work on more stuff. And obviously, we know, John Barenthal worked on One Last Kill and is really protective of his character. It's good to have people in these roles that care that much about the characters. So, I mean, just overall, just a tremendous movie. I mean, I want to see it a third time. I'm ready to see it again. It was just so well done. Like, we said in our at the theater review, it hit the humor was good. The emotional points were good. The action was good. There was like nothing in this movie that I felt was bad.
Yeah. It was definitely a great, I mean, if you're not a comic book reader, it still had a complete story. If you are a comic book reader, the movie played out like you were reading a comic. Like if you were picking up a graphic novel and you just like knew who the characters were, and it picked up, and you didn't have to explain a big background on them. You already knew who the Punisher was. You knew who the Hulk was. They just came in the movie and they just all related like they would if they were all superheroes. It flowed. It was great.
They came in the movie, they were all related, and it flowed. Yeah, you're right.
Thanks, Doug. This is a family channel, Doug.
And Brian says the superhero sci-fi actor cycle is let me do classical theater, then 4 years later, let me back in. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
But, Tom Holland has talked a lot about, bringing Miles Morales in and saying he knows when they're planning on bringing him in, which we've heard is post the Spider-Verse saga. And he's willing to, he even said, Robert Downey Jr. helped me out tremendously when I, got the Spider-Man role, helping me deal with, the fame and the how to do it in the movies and handle all this. And he said, I'm willing to help out, who's ever going to be Miles or who's going to be the next Peter Parker. So Tom Holland just seems like a great dude all around. He really is just fantastic. But should we rate this movie post-theater? We've had some time to think about it, have it settle in. Has your guys' scores changed at all?
Nope.
No, sir. And I'm seeing it again tomorrow. I'm thinking it might even go up. Who knows? But
I think it went up to like a 9.7. Like there are no missteps, no plot holes that I can think about that stood out to me. Nothing that made me go like, I wish they would have done something different. It just seemed to be an all-around, extremely entertaining, well-written, well-acted, well everything. I said in the thing too, the way he interacts with all the other heroes in this made it feel like a comic book, like Dave said. Because Spider-Man he had Marvel team up where he always teamed up with somebody else. He's always showing up in X-Men comics, Avengers comics, and not just because he's the biggest selling, hero out there, but, he's such a good character. So I
would
would
love
go
to
see it
a
again.
Spider-Man Deadpool team up.
That would be fantastic.
It'd be like almost a comedy.
Yep. And Brian said I would go see it again, but not in the same theater. We have a dimness issue in theater 1 here. We'll definitely see it on the biggest screen you can too. We saw it on the Super EMAX, and it was perfection.
It was
so
good. Yeah. By the way, I liked that theater.
Yeah, it was good.
I don't go to the Cat and Imagine all that often, and it's much closer to me.
I'll tell you what, I felt like we were in Westland for part of it, and then when we left, I felt like we were in Canton.
Gee, I wonder why.
It's so strange. But yeah, I mean, what's next is we've already kind of talked about a few of them. You know, seeing the hand in Daredevil Born Again season 3 after getting a little taste for him here. Obviously, the inhibitor chip is definitely going to come up in definitely the mutant saga. Metzger probably has it. He's going to definitely use it against mutants to keep them trapped. And I hope we see Spider-Man team up with the X-Men in a movie because, you know, it's happened so much in the comics
I think we will.
that it would be fantastic. And he already has a relationship with Jean Grey because they did, you know, share a smooch at one point. So, you know.
Technically, that was MJ.
Well, physically it was MJ, but she doesn't remember it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, sort of like a certain Wonder Woman movie.
only done so much better here than in that movie.
I don't think MJ would have complained about that. She would have had nothing to say.
Yeah, she would have probably been all right. Okay, and Brian says, does the mutant hysteria storyline work today? I wonder. Seems like we have a much more sympathetic public anymore. Well, with the fact that...
God, have you looked out the window?
Well, especially with all of the stuff that's going to be pushed about what Jean did in this movie. How she took control over innocent people. They will definitely push that mutants are a menace. And with good writers, they could get it to work. So I think that'll be one of the major themes of the mutant saga, is them being outcast and not accepted. And even though they're saving the world, still, you know, hated by most humans.
I could even see it taken a step further where you've got people like Metzger that are actively trying to round up and jail or eliminate the mutants.
Yep. And he may have,
like, if you really want to, you know, if you want to put it into a movie or a TV series or something and really, you know, bring it home about how terrible this could end up being and how it's more than just, oh, we don't like muties. You know, it's like their lives are actively in danger, or you've got people trying to, you know, put these dampening chips on them against their will or something like that. Or, God, what if Metzger turns it into a collar like what we see in the X-Men animated series?
Yep.
Or like in Deadpool 2.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it can go a number of different ways. And if, you know, if Marvel is aware enough like X-Men comics and series and whatever, I think they could do it right, hopefully. If they don't, you know, try to PG-13 it too much.
Yep. Brian says you could almost do a Resistance Underground Railroad with the mutants today. You could see the Morlocks coming into that and things. And he says the animated series is 20 years old. It is, but we have a new animated series too, X-Men 97, which is really good.
Yeah.
I just don't think it resonates like it did in those days. I guess we'll see. You know, I think it still does. I think there's still, you know, the same things that the mutant hatred was written about with racism and all these other things, xenophobia. They're all still present today. We might have some people that are a lot more compassionate and understanding towards these groups, but it's still out there. And I think it will. Well, if it doesn't pop, these movies are going to be not as great, but I think it will.
And they're still going to call them the
definitely,
X-Men. They still need to call them the X-Men because it has nothing to do with the gender.
And Brian says, go to a 7-Eleven and look at the clerk. They're actively trying to look like mutants with face tats and piercings. Okay, boomer.
You're not a post. He's not a Post Malone fan, is he?
It doesn't sound like it.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Brian, that was kind of a boomer take, man. That sounds like my grandma shaking her cane and yelling, the kids these days.
You're all a bunch of weirdos.
And once again,
Oh,
it's
let me
not
guess, they're gonna smoke the reefers next.
it's not what I would do, but you know what? People should be themselves. If they want to be face tatted up and a bunch of, earrings and piercings and stuff, that's cool. Personally, I don't want to look like I fell down the stairs holding a tackle box, but that's just
Agreed,
me.
same. But
people
it's
wanna
not
do it-
hurting me. I don't care what you put in your face, I guess.
Exactly, same. Be yourself, and as long as you're true to yourself, you're going to be happier. Everyone's going to be happier, and I don't care what other people do.
And also, when my bag of bugles gets hooked on one of your nose piercings or face piercings, and I try to rip it away to shove as many bugles in the mouth as possible, you can't be mad at me by law. You're not allowed to be mad at me.
And this stream is brought to you by Bugle Snack Chips.
Bugles, you can put them on your fingers.
Bugles, when too much salt isn't enough. Brian said, I'm just saying mutants are mainstream now. They aren't some mind-blowing thing that you learn about when you pick up a comic every 30 days. True. I think, like back in our day, the Morlocks with their tats and all their, they were the mutants who didn't look like normal humans. They had to be underground and stuff. And I think some things have changed in these last 30 years, I will agree, but I still think it wasn't always about them looking different. It was more about them being different and them thinking, oh, these people are more powerful than me. We can't trust them. Much like, Lex Luthor doesn't trust Superman because he has all that power. And Superman does everything he does to prove he is going to do the right thing. I think
part of what if you really do think back to like the original comics before they had really even established Magneto's backstory, I think even before he was given a canon name, most of his storylines was him going around preaching about how mutants were the next stage of human evolution, and talking about the X gene and how they were better and more powerful, and humans were eventually going to die out and mutants would take their place. So that also didn't help how people felt about them. I don't know if they're going to do anything similar to that. I think it sounds, if they're going to keep doing things based on how they did it here in Brand New Day, they're probably going to have a lot of show of force where mutants are using their powers against the populace, whether they can control it or not. And I think that's what's going to drive people into like, maybe we should put some sort of restraining chip on them or something.
Well, and I think it would be smart to have like the Brotherhood be
I agree.
anti-human because that does help foster why humans might not be so trusting of mutants and other things. So,
one of my favorite iterations of the Brotherhood, by the way, is in X-Men Evolution, the early 2000s X-Men cartoon. They were kind of the epitome of the outcasts. That series also reintroduced the Morlocks as well. But when they introduced the Brotherhood, they were essentially living in squalor. They, they lived together and worked together and fought together just because they had each other. Now, granted, they were being led kind of astray by Magneto and Mystique, telling them that they had to do all of this stuff instead of listening to, what Charles was trying to tell them and everything. But the fact of the matter was, it kind of became a circular thing. They were acting out because they felt that everybody distrusted them and disliked them, but then they made it worse by continuing to go out and cause trouble. So yes, I agree with you, Keith. I think they do need a Brotherhood to sort of elevate that.
And Future Boy OG is in the chat, says, howdy, sir. Welcome back. We will actually be jumping into House of the Dragon here in a minute. If you've seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, let us know your rating. Well, should we talk House of the Dragon now, gentlemen?
I think we are ready to talk House of the Dragon.
Yes,
now, I haven't seen it, so no, I'm teasing.
It is.
Yeah, I didn't watch it yet, but here's how
it is called.
I'm assuming there are dragons in it.
It is called The Dragon in Winter, so that is a good guess.
Dragon what, though? What are they dragging?
They're dragging something in the winter. Jeez, kicking and screaming, I bet.
Well, this episode starts out with Rhaenyra interrogating Helena about
Sorry.
No, interrogating Helena, who had just had some dreams. And this episode, I think, focused a lot on dreams and such. We'll speak of the ones with Aemond in a minute and stuff. And Brian is heading out. We're done talking about Brand New Day. Thanks for joining us, sir. Always a pleasure having you here. You know, we get Assyria trying to convince Rhaenyra that Daemon has betrayed her, especially after Adam and Bela see Sheepstealer with a rider. And of course, Daemon is in the Vale talking to Jane, and he's trying to find Rhaena to try to bring her in.
I like their conversation when he bursts in. Where is she? And she's like, "Oh, okay. So we're not doing polite anymore, right?" So, okay, cool.
Yeah, we gave up on pleasantries.
Right.
And of course, he ends up tracking her down. Sheepstealer is just uncontrollable. Rhaena even says, "I can't control them," and dragons seem to be fighting. And that's when that's when Rhaenyra and Adam show up.
Comes flying in, yeah. And
By the way,
the entire time, I didn't summon them. I swear on my life. And you can tell, like, this is one of the few moments where he's kind of coming off as a good guy. Like, Dave, I agree with you where there's like hardly anyone to root for. I said that in our last stream as well. It is very difficult to find anybody to root for in the show. Most of them are so terrible. But whenever he shows this actual like care for his daughter and truly wants to, help them out and everything, like every moment there's like just the tiny little glimmer of like, okay, that's cool. I can root for you in this regard. Not the whole like world conquest, burn down everything, but helping out your daughter. I'm good with that.
Yeah, like when he first got to the Vale, he came in like that, and then his next sentence was, "All right, can you give me some time? I'm gonna, let me help her." And then when they show up, he finds her. He's like a dad, like he is a dad, but he acts like a dad. He's not all mean like he is to everybody else in the world. I'm like, wow, this is a different side of him.
And later, when he's talking to Rhaenyra, he even says, and I think that helps her kind of understand it a little more. He's like, "I've been a terrible father, and I was just trying to be a father to her and like do the right thing." And it is nice seeing Daemon, who never seems to have any thoughts except for world conquest for the most part, care about his kids and, care about things and have that. I didn't expect to see Daemon with the emotional arc this episode. Because of course, like Doug was saying, he's like, "I did not call them. Listen, on my life, I did not." And then when it's Rhaenyra, she's like, "You knew who it was, and you never told me," and this stuff. And of course, Sheepstealer is freaking out at this point because there's 3 dragons around it. Yeah.
But he's only thinking about, oh, hey, they're gonna eat up my food.
Yeah, probably.
Good curry.
There's not enough sheep in this Vale for all 4 of us.
I don't know if you guys have been flying around, but I don't see too many sheep down there.
And I don't know how much money they spent on that dragon fight, but it looked good. And the fact that Caraxes was able to use his long neck to like reach around and grab it, I was like, "Oh, that is such a cool." And all I could think about, because Rhaena had said earlier, "I was just out. I wanted to find Vhagar, and if I could take him down, Rhaenyra could forgive me and stuff." And I think that is a little foreshadowing to Caraxes fighting Vhagar, because even though Vhagar is the bigger one, this neck, for some reason, why it's so long, and he's like giraffe, dragon, he may be able to use that to his advantage over a dragon with a smaller neck.
I really did feel bad for Rhaena, and I really, really felt bad for Sheepstealer at the end there, though, because and I feel like even Daemon maybe a little bit was like, because he didn't finish Sheepstealer off. He kept yelling at his dragon to finish him, but then he kind of he just watched Sheepstealer sort of walk away, and it's like, I wonder if like a part of him was like, okay, that's enough. He'll be down and out for a while anyway.
And I wonder if a little bit of it was too thinking we could get Rhaena back on that, and we would have another dragon on our side.
If she has the right guidance,
yes,
then maybe she could learn how to control it.
not thinking this is a wild dragon and nothing we're going to do is ever going to calm it. He's thinking power, which is once again very Daemon-like. And really, honestly, everyone right now in this world, you know, you had talked about Dave earlier saying there's no one to root for in this show, and there isn't. Nobody is the good guy in this show. And it's funny watching, like you watch all sides and you think, oh, there's another mistake. Can't believe they're doing that. They're going to pay for that at some point. And you kind of see it playing out. And to me, I'm like, I think it's all because they don't really have a main character, because the way this book was written was, you know, multiple narrators just telling the history of it. So there isn't anyone like a Ned Stark or a Sir Duncan Natal that, you know, you can root for and be like, yes, that's who you should be. And it's a different way of handling a television show, but for me, it works.
Darren would be the closest I could think of
right now. Yes, he seems right to now, be the most, like he's even saying, she can have the crown, she can have the throne. You know, this is can't stand this and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you know, Rhaena is brought back to King's Landing. She reunites with her sister, who's, you know,
finally gets a bath.
Yep.
She was looking rough there for a while.
Looking very rough. And, you know, Daemon's just justifying all of this to protect his daughter, and Rhaenyra kind of understands it all, but still probably pretty upset.
And the entire time, as she's, you know, we're kind of like jumping ahead a little bit, but the entire time she's still trying to tell herself enough to sort of twist it and believe that, oh, well, I mean, yeah, he did lie, but it was for a good reason. And the entire time the White Worm there is sitting there trying to whisper in here, well, actually, he's working against you, and, you know, technically this, and really it's like this, and oh, by the way, you're looking quite nice tonight, my queen. And
well, and it was great too, because right after she's kind of saying all that, she's talking to one of the commoners, and she's like, oh, you've changed and you're this now, and she doesn't see it in herself. She thinks she's the same person, but everyone else can see it. And then that leads into, you know, Rhaenyra coming in to tell her, to accuse her basically of manipulating her before they have, and what did I write down? Oh, sexy time.
That's what you wrote down. Okay.
Which I was like, oh, she's probably not manipulating her now. Oh, wait, what did she do before? Oh, yeah, she was a prostitute. Yeah, this is probably meaningful to her.
I just feel like she's the little finger of this show.
She is.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, oh, yeah, that scene that you're talking about where she was in the, you know, like escorting someone into the throne room, sort of like showing it off and everything, and trying to insist that she hadn't changed. That, God, I was getting like some serious Ulfa vibes. You know, like how he used to hang out in the tavern and constantly claim before he got the dragon, oh, I'm actually a Targaryen, and, you know, so actually you should buy me a drink, and...
Ulf had some things to say at the end of this episode, right, Keith? Oh, we're not there yet.
Yes, we're not there yet, but we will get there.
But yeah, when she's like, you know, and like, oh, and by the way, if you tell me what you want the queen to know about, then when her mood is right, I'll whisper it into her ear, and it's like, oh, that's no, you shouldn't be doing this.
I think there was a phrase that Brian used earlier, cringy. Yes,
cringy. Yeah. It was a very cringe moment. It really was.
And we'll get to a cringier moment here in a minute.
Oh my God!
I don't want to think about it
because Alicent shows up at Harrenhal.
She teleported. Okay.
Did you see people showed? They're like, how Alicent got to Harrenhal, and she went into a Super Mario tube, and then came out.
I saw another one. She used the portal from the game Portal.
Yeah. Yes. This was a triumph, but you know. At first, we think Alicent has arrived, and this is just Aemond dreaming or being manipulated by the witch into what? Hold on, what did I write down? Oh yeah, sexy time with his mom.
Yeah, that's where the cringe comes. Ooh.
Oh my gosh. And like it went from like 0 to 100 like just like that. It started off and they had me thinking it was actually her at first for a minute there until I'm like, no, would she? Oh God, I hope not.
Yeah, I was like,
You know what
what?
the worst
What?
part of it was? The worst part of it was when he realized he was into it, and then
Yeah,
then he realized
right?
it wasn't her.
Yes, he throws Alice off once he realizes it's not his mom.
She's like, put a boy in me or something, and he like throws her off, and I was like,
Yeah, oh yeah, he was saying, "I'll give you a son. What's his name?"
yeah.
Which I mean, also not much better. Like, imagine him to yell at, I don't know, Jim. Is that a good name?
Targaryens, they're not your normal folk.
I'm
Jed?
sorry, I know that I'm fantasizing about sexy times with my mom, but I really don't feel comfortable yelling out names of future children.
What's his name?
With someone who's not my
Rhaegar.
mom.
And of course, once the real Alicent arrives via portal tube, via boom tube, she, Alice is like telling Aemond, something's off here. She has evil
Don't
intent
trust your
for you
mom.
or stuff. Yeah, don't trust her. And, we do see that Aemond kills Redfort to keep his secret of where he's at. And, Alicent, who I think he was going to kill him at first, or the plan was to have him kill him once he got comfortable. She sees some of that
Probably.
poisonous
Because
root.
she ends up pulling a dagger off of him later.
Yeah, that's when she sees.
So I think that was intended.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. What was it? Did I write it down? I just put. She ends up poisoning his wine, and who collapses, and then she flees back into the boom tube.
Mm-hmm. Which I if there is not some sort of warp tube way for her to get back to wherever she's going, like who's her escort?
Yeah, how
Apparently it was just that one guy taking her there, and I guess she encountered no resistance on the way, and now she's got to figure out how to get back from here on her own, or is she going to take the advice and just go back to Old Town?
Or does she have a group of people camped outside Harrenhal? She only went in with one.
Oh,
because
that would make a lot more sense.
She did leave
if
with
she
others.
does, I kind of wish they would have shown us that.
No, true. I'm just because I'm like, when she left, there was a couple that went with, so they might be, or we may never see Alicent again. She may leave,
like what we
the
discussed
book.
in our last stream. They did say that she, by this point in the story, she doesn't have anything left to do. She's not really in it.
Is Helena gonna live? I mean, if she is, then we are gonna see Alicent go back to King's Landing.
Well, hopefully. I don't know.
Alicent has shown that she's okay ditching her kids.
Yeah, and she does seem kind of fed up.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
She
Once again, hold on. I look
Rhaena.
back to the note. No one on this show is good.
All right. I'll go kill my son for you. Jeez.
I love the way that Rhaenyra tells Helena, like when she wakes her up, have you heard from my mother? No, and I don't think I will until
Well, she's done something for me.
She has to finish running an errand.
Okay, you want me to kill my son for you? Should I torture him, make it painful or quick? Oh, I don't care. Whatever you think is best. Okay.
So sexy time with him. Got it. No.
So bring back your dry cleaning too. Well, while I'm at it.
And then we see the Tully army marching towards Tumbleton with everyone's favorite greatest warrior in the realm, Kristen Cole's head on a spike. With the arrow still sticking in it. I like that.
That was great.
He's so cheeky.
Then we see Darren and Gwaine actually contemplating surrendering because they don't know Ormond's plans at all. And of course, then we find out, Ormond is talking to Corlys and saying that his captivity will, dissuade the Valyrian army from aiding Rhaenyra. And I'm like, wow, that's not the greatest plan of all. I don't see that helping. Of course, he does send his father's finger and ring to Alan, but I still don't think that's enough to persuade them from going. That'll probably want Alan to charge onto Tumbleton to kind of help his dad. So I'm thinking, oh, good God, this Aemond is nothing to protect Tumbleton. And then we see that he's having a drink with his buddy Ulf, letting him know that, just so you know, I forget what Ulf wanted, what castle he wanted. And he's like, you know what? It's kind of small potatoes. Driftwood is currently open. How would you like to be Lord of the Tide? And Ulf is like, are there taverns there?
I don't know what that means, but...
And I was like, okay, this...
How do you feel about being in charge of the entire Navy?
Do I have to ride the ships? No, not at all. Oh, good. I have a dragon.
So I can just go to the tavern and drink? Sure.
And he's going to change his name to Zatara, which means driftwood. I don't know if you... That's a deep reference down to the Count of Monte Cristo. Sorry.
I thought you were going to say... I thought you were going to say that was in Smallville. I was going to be like, I'm waiting for the like, when did they bring that up in Smallville?
Nope. But you did, and Keith's playing the theme now.
Well, because usually that's it. This is usually about the time when you'd be like, and in season 42, episode 6 of Smallville.
By the way...
Jason Deerham says, darn, I missed the Spider-Man talk, but I think that belly button line from Yelena will pay off in Secret Wars. She'll see Peter without his shirt and will be the first to know Peter is Spidey.
She'll remember his belly button.
That's very possible. There's a lot of lines that are thrown in to pay off later, and that could definitely be one. It seems like a jokey line at first, but it'll come to pay off at the end. And then finally in this episode, Larys and Tyland are escorting Aegon to a ship to go across the seas. Unfortunately, there is an army coming that way who is for Rhaenyra, coming to find the gold that Tyland stole, supposedly. And of course, Aegon finally is like, you know what? I'm done running. I am a king. I am not going to go. If you guys want to go and do your thing, but I'm going to face this. I am going to be buried as a king, and I don't want people to think that my brother was the one that killed me. And I was like, good for him. You know what? That's almost the right way to be. And of course, Larys, even though he has a very good reason, I'm a cripple, I'm not much of a help in battle.
Like, oh, that's cool, bye.
And this was honestly him more like, okay, this guy, he won't listen to me, he's not going to do it, he's never going to come back into power.
He's going to die, because Larys also, he doesn't know what's about to happen. None of us know what's about, well, unless you're a book reader, I guess you probably wouldn't know what's going to happen, but...
Well, I had some idea because we saw the scene where he was at the Dead Dragon in the previous city on House of the Dragon. I'm like, oh, we're seeing Sunfyre this week, aren't we?
Yeah. But yeah, of course, Larys' character, he doesn't know that he should still back his king, and that this might be the best move to make. Instead, he's just thinking to himself, yeah, he's walking to his death, and I still want to live. So have fun, Lannister.
Well, and it's funny because Larys is like, yes, I will still talk about your glory and songs and all this stuff. And Tyland's like, okay, dude. And Tyland, being a knight who obviously, was not given a knighthood because he could ride a dragon and kind of understand what this means, is like, no, I'm sticking with, you will
might
do
be
this.
One of the most honorable Lannisters.
Yeah, it was another example of someone understanding their role as a knight and deciding to do it. And of course, they're sitting around a little fire when the army comes up, and they're like, bend the knee towards the Queen Rhaenyra, and he's like, it seems like he's about to run off. I honestly was like, oh, he's
Yeah,
about
and
to run away.
even Thailand is like, are do you still want to stand strong, my king, or like, what are you doing here? And I think just saying that to him was like a bit of a reminder, like, no, that's right. I said that I was going to stand my ground.
Yeah. And then he,
And
I
now
will not. Go ahead, Dave.
we just have all the characters in play. So are we going to see Sunfyre eat Rhaenyra?
At some point.
Based on what we
Very
heard
likely.
that happens in the book, it sounds that way.
But are they going to show it, or are they going to put it at a montage at the end of the series?
I don't know. And also, I mean, Joffrey does say it as well in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
His, and look, right there, that's where the bones of Rhaenyra Targaryen are. And I'm so excited to talk about death. Marjorie. Ah,
Cool.
Okay.
oh,
But yeah,
So
we
we get that
see,
poison.
you're the king.
and we know Future Boy OG was rooting for the underdog, and he pulled up his full king measure, and I am Aegon the Second, King of the Andals, Royer of the First Men, and I, will not bow down to the usurper and stuff. And you see the army like start to back it up, and he's like, "Wow,
That's right. You fear me.
Yeah.
Not. I don't. That was. I'm sitting there. I'm like, he doesn't hear the dragon. They all clearly see and hear the dragon. He's not. Okay. Maybe he got his ears burnt off. Who knows?
He was a little too caught up in his moment. He was a little nervous to be saying it. He was, focusing on that, and did not hear the ginormous animal creeping up behind him to be hey, boss.
Oh, it was such a great moment though. When he looked and goes, Sunfyre? Dracarys!
All right.
The glee in his voice as he's just laughing maniacally.
Yes, he definitely was much like Rhaenyra earlier. And I was laughing because one of the things she was asking Helena is like, is there any signs that the gods favor me? Anything you've seen. And right at that moment, I think Aegon was feeling very favored by the gods because he even was talking, I was anointed by the sept in front of the 7 true gods. And then his dragon shows up to basically save his life. I think he's feeling pretty good right now. Yeah. And then,
definitely.
I'm wondering too. I think, we don't know. Well, I think we know how Daemon dies. Unfortunately, we've heard that it's a fighting thing, but Mysaria, the White Worm, she is getting more and more in trouble. Not in trouble per se, but not as influential to people as she would like to be. And we saw where it went with Rhaenyra at the end of this. She started falling back to her old profession to try to help her. But even the lady who she was talking to in the throne room was like, yeah, you've changed. You're not what you think you are. You're eating up
They
this
will
stuff.
always view you as the whore. That no matter what, they will always view you that way.
Yep.
When it comes right down to it, that's what's going to happen.
And I think she must realize, well, shit, if that's what people are going to think, I guess play to your strengths.
Yeah. And she does that later. And I think she's going to realize, yep, that's how these people see me. And I don't know what her, and please, if anyone in the chat knows, I don't want to know what her,
what her fate is.
Yeah, what her fate is. Thank you. But it'll be interesting to see because we know Daemon doesn't like her, and Daemon's going to be continuing to, talk to Rhaenyra that she can't trust her. She doesn't like Daemon. She's whispering to her to not trust him, and Rhaenyra is losing her grasp on King's Landing, and unknown to her, Ormond is recruiting Ulf in one of her dragon riders, and I can only imagine if he's working on Ulf, he might be working on Hugh. Too.
Definitely.
And that would be very bad for her to lose 2 dragons like that, especially with Vhagar still in play.
It'd be good and bad. So here's the thing that I was thinking of last night after I saw that scene. The first thought that crossed my mind was, okay, if Ulf and Hugh end up turning against her and they're going to join Ormond and Tumbleton, well then all bets are off. She has nothing to to stop her from just torturing the whole thing. Like, I mean, everybody was telling her, "Oh yeah, you can't do that, the innocent people." But I mean, she's got potentially two people that are going to turn against her and join up. And if Hugh is trying to get his wife back, even he might say, oh, "Okay, well, I've switched sides and I'm going to stay here and we're going to defend Tumbleton, whatever." Again, that might, in Rhaenyra's mind, she might see that as, "Okay, well, I've got nothing to stop me from doing this now. May as well just burn the whole city down."
That may be her moment. And honestly, Ormond does his homework. Like, he knew what Ulf wanted and what would it take to turn him to their side. And he may know the exact same thing with Hugh. He may know Hugh came in to visit his wife and know that he has family there, and he'll use that against him. And yeah, I got a bad feeling that when the Tully army gets to Tumbleton, they're going to get fried a lot, like we saw that army get fried by Sunfyre at the end of this episode, because they are not expecting 3 dragons to be up against, because Darren still has his. And even though he's a smaller dragon, once Ulf and Hugh are turned, they don't stand a chance. I mean, Rhaenyra is going to have to send probably Adam, probably Bela, and anyone else who will go. Maybe even Daemon.
She's going to have to get her own hands on some scorpions.
Yep. Oh yeah, 100%.
Or again, like what you suggested earlier, or it's either you or Dave, they do use Sheep Stealer.
Yeah. They may definitely need him in this after that thing's in it. Jason Durham said, "Looks like Joffrey's story from Game of Thrones is still on the cards. They're making Rhaenyra so unhinged and unlikable, and they're making Aegon a lot more likable this season." Well, a little more kingy, a little more, I don't want to say, a little more like a king at this point. He's having a little more confidence. He's not the crap bag that he was, back in King's Landing and stuff. He's starting to understand a little bit more what it takes to be a king. But that laugh at the end, I don't know if that's making him much more likable. That was Mad King.
That was my thought. I'm like, oh, that's definitely the Mad King. Burn them all.
You really, honestly, Rhaenyra is starting to lose. Daemon's losing it a little bit. Aemond's losing it. All of the Targaryens are showing signs of issues with their sanity a little bit. The only one who isn't is Darren.
Why?
Yeah, it's weird. It's not like there's any stories about that anywhere else in their history. They all seem so level-headed. And
who was it that said the line about when a Targaryen is born, the gods roll a dice or flip a coin? The gods flip a coin.
Isn't that Cersei? Cersei said that on Game of Thrones. Yeah, when they were talking about her and Jaime.
Guys, that line has always stuck in my head because that's very true about the Targaryens. I mean, you might wind up with a good one, but there's a 50-50 chance that they could be psychotic.
And even, with Aegon feeling just empowered by the gods, he's probably not just going to sit. And without Larys trying to keep a low profile, Sunfyre is going to be back into play. We could have Ulf and Hugh turning against Rhaenyra and Tumbleton. They're going to be dragons against them from all angles. And if Aemond hears it and brings out Vhagar, we could see a massive battle, much like the 4-dragon battle we saw in this episode.
Right. Now, we don't know if Sunfyre can fly yet. His face and everything was still looking pretty rough. So he might be, it looks like he can use his fire breath just fine, but I don't know if he's capable of, full force flying and fighting the way that he used to. And if he encounters another dragon again, then it's very possible he could be knocked out of the sky again.
No, that's a good point. It would be funny too if he can't fly and he's just walking his dragon.
He's just walking his dragon. Aren't you supposed to fly those? Shut up! You wouldn't understand.
He's tired. Just get off his back.
You get off his back.
Yeah.
You're literally on his back. I'm on your mom's back.
At least I will be there. And I still wonder about Alicent. You know, it's funny because I do think there's a possibility we'll never see her again. Like she escapes out of there thinking she killed Aemon. I don't know.
Or maybe Alice will cast a spell on her, and
Oh, true. I didn't think of that.
who knows? Uh, I don't know if it means anything. Like, I didn't quite understand why they showed the scene, unless it was just for the hell of it. But at one point, after she grabbed the dagger off the dead body of her escort, whatever that guy's name was, um, she stops and she notices the godwood tree, and then she kind of pauses as she's looking at one of the flowers on it.
That was poison. That was, I forget what it was, but
Oh, is that where the poison came from?
yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I was wondering. I'm like, I don't understand the point of that. I thought she just had the poison on her already. Okay. Well, now we got to wait and see if it actually did anything, if it actually worked.
Well, I think him getting to Alice, I think she'll be able to neutralize it.
She seemed more annoyed than anything. Like,
Idiot.
I tried telling him, idiot.
And she may, you know, she may let him go, not let him go, I shouldn't say, but be like, your mother tried to kill you. The Greens are against you. I'm all you have. And, you know, she may release him with Vhagar to go maybe help Tumbleton, declare himself king, maybe go to King's Landing, do a little thing, but we may
I also
see.
like in his warped mind, whether this is the spell or he's just, crazy. I like how he tells Alicent that no, I think I'm gonna stay here. My seat of power is gonna be here. This is where I'm gonna stay. And she's like, you can't stay here. Rhaenyra sits on the throne. She'll have you killed if she finds out. No, I'm good. I'll be here.
Well, I think some of that has to do with the 5 dragon eggs that Alice has too.
Ah, okay.
At least I think, because that's how Aemond sees that as power, because 6 dragons and him having the biggest dragon, he would be an unstoppable force. Of course, it would
I
take
wasn't
some
sure. I
time.
didn't know what the heck was going on in his head.
I'm looking forward to seeing, because obviously I think we're going to see the first battle of Tumbleton next episode.
Yeah, and I gotta say, this was weird because we kept saying, well, this is gonna be the ultimate episode. This is where we're gonna see the big fight and where everything's gonna go down. And then in normal Game of Thrones fashion, they're gonna give us the last episode as kind of our breather. And that's not what they did. I was kind of surprised. Like, I kept checking and I'm like, well, the episode's almost over and we haven't really had like a big moment. And unless they're trying to tell us that the that Sunfyre, maybe that's supposed to be the big moment of the ultimate moment of this season. I don't know.
I think they are not going with the penultimate episode of
I
the
guess
season like
not.
Game of Thrones did. I think
Game of
I hope
Thrones did it, and so did Night of the Seven Kingdoms. That's why I kind of thought House of the Dragon would stick to the same formula, but
Yes, we all did.
every single one of us. But even last year, we didn't get. Remember, it's like the end of the season. Oh, everyone's marching off to war, and we're gonna have big battles. See you in 3 years. It was like, is that how they just ended the season? Oh my God, that is terrible. What are they doing to us? And they better not do that again. I hope they learn their lesson. Would
You think
Ulf
they would've
and
liked
Dollar Store
this
Thor's dragons even attack Rhaenyra's dragons? They all know each other and are highly intelligent. Would the dragons turn on each other? That is a good point.
I think they would. I think they would because we have, I mean, the fact that the 3 dragons were all, I mean, granted, yes, Sheepstealer is a wild dragon. They don't know him, but it seems like they, for the most part, they're very territorial animals, but also they do listen to commands. And I think if one of their riders tells them to go after, to kill, to Dracarys, I think they're going to listen regardless of what the target is.
Yeah, and honestly, you know, the rider bonds with the dragon.
Yeah.
So especially
Yeah.
if they feel attacked or
The
threatened in any
Halu.
way. The what?
Zehalu. You know what? From Avatar, where they connect their hair to the.
Oh no, I totally forgot about that.
I've tried to never remember that. Thanks, Dave.
You love Avatar, and you know it, Keith.
Yeah, Aang and
Katara and Sokka and my cabbages.
The cabbages.
that was great that the cabbages guy was in the movie. Yeah, but there is so much going on, and I hope we get some, Sunfyre's back in play. Is Aegon going to make a play? His maniacal laugh at the end, is he going to go off? Is Aemond, after trying to be killed by his mother, is he going to be going off and trying to do stuff? We got potential Ulf turning against, Rhaenyra while an army is marching to Tumbleton to root out the soldiers, the green soldiers there. There's a lot that could happen. And just the fact, I loved Ulf. The guy who plays Ulf is just great. He plays him so exceptionally well. And he's like, oh, a castle. And he's like, oh, why? It looks so small. Driftwood is open. Lord of the Tides. And he's just like, well, yes, I think that befits my station well.
Yeah, right.
I hope they don't, because this was a slower paced episode. It was good, but a bit disappointing in the fact that they keep building and building to stuff, and we're not seeing the payout. It's great to have that build up, but you also have to have the payout at the end to make it all worthwhile. And I don't want to have to wait till 2028 to see the payout on all that is going on this season. We need a Battle of Tumbleton next week, or Vhagar versus Caraxes in the sky over the God's Eye, whatever we're gonna.
Have we seen Vhagar show back up yet, or what?
No,
I don't think so. I don't know where that dragon is.
Yeah, it's gonna be someone. Was it west of Westeros that told us that
Alice was hiding him or something?
Like a pocket universe or something? Or...
Yeah. So I'm guessing he must know that or something, but he hasn't asked her, oh, by the way, where's my dragon or anything. No, he did when he first woke up.
Last episode, and he did say he was going to go find him.
Yeah, and she said, oh, he's off flying around somewhere. So I guess she hasn't told him where the dragon is yet either.
Yeah, she's definitely keeping it away from him, enticing him with the dragon eggs as power and offering him Harrenhal as his seat. And
What if those aren't actually dragon eggs? What if that's also part of the spell? What if they're just like rocks in a chest?
Oh my God!
And she's making him see dragon eggs? Because where would she even get them from?
Future Boy OG says Vhagar is off eating sheep stealer's sheep.
Okay, I can see that. The sheep stealer's gonna poke his head. Hey, those are mine.
Those are mine.
What are you doing?
Now, question for you two. Do you think that Sheep Stealer was crawling off to go die somewhere, or do we think he might actually come back? I know we had a what's next that they may end up using him due to his bond with Rhaena, but like he was seen pretty badly injured too.
He was very badly injured, and I do think Daemon, once he finds out about Ulf's betrayal and about Sunfyre being bad in the play, and maybe Vhagar coming back out of hiding, he'll be like, we need more power. We need to find, Rhaenyra, you need me to take Rhaena and get her back on Sheepstealer. We need the power. Even if it's just, we can't control it, so we send her right to Harrenhal to just wreak havoc. Or we send her to Tumbleton to wreak havoc. Or we send her to Old Town. She can't control it. I think it'll just start destroying Old Town. The hopefully understanding that it's a wild dragon that doesn't really listen to her commands. Have her be away from the rest of the army, but, able to... We've seen what that dragon can do. It's a pretty strong dragon. We don't know how injured it is or, if it is going to live, but I think Daemon is going to see it as power because that's what he sees ultimately in everything. It's not about what's right and what's good. It's about how do we take over the world.
Did you know that when you translate Sheep Stealer from Valerian to English, you get John William Bottomtooth III?
I did not know that. Interesting. It all fits. And Future Boy OG says, if Sunfyre lived, surely Sheepstealer will live. Yeah,
Okay,
good
that
point.
is a good point. Which, yeah, Sunfyre was looking really rough in the face there too.
Yeah.
And I like your thought that we have not seen him fly. He did not fly
Mm-hmm.
to come help Aegon at the end there. He was on foot. He may not be able to fly.
Oh yeah.
Which would be a little crazy. Well, should we rate this episode, gentlemen?
I think we should.
Let's do it. I liked seeing a kind of more human side of Daemon this episode. That was kind of cool. And the constant slipping into insanity by Rhaenyra. I mean, if you think about it, all the Targaryens are going crazy on this show, but hers is the most pronounced. Every scene, it seems like if something goes wrong, you can see a little bit more getting chipped off. She's just starting to lose it. And like the pacing of the episode that you were saying, I was expecting, like you said, the penultimate episode of this season, and we didn't get it. I mean,
Yeah.
there were a few moments, but it wasn't like episode 1 of this season. Which one I think I gave it a 9 or a 10. I don't think I gave it a 10, but it was an amazing episode, and I expected something like that out of this episode. And when it didn't happen, I was like, okay, maybe next week, but who knows? So maybe it's just from my disappointment that I thought this was going to be a big episode, a little less setup, a little more action. Like you say it, like you said, Keith. We're not getting the payoff. We're getting all the setup. It's like a J.J. Abrams season or something, setting up everything. Let's see something happen. So far, no, I mean, with this episode, I think I'm going to give it a 6.5. It was all right. I liked it, but I still want more.
Future Boy OG says in the chat, I was too fired up yelling at my screen when they ganged up on Best Boy Sheepstealer. I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. I felt bad for that poor dragon watching it try to limp away, and I'm just like, oh no, oh you poor boy, no, don't hurt that dragon anymore. So yeah, I feel you, man.
He was holding his own a little bit. And he did say,
yeah,
I have to watch it again. They've all been better the second watch. And I didn't get a chance to watch this episode second time, but that is usually true. And
I wonder if this is one of those where it would be like, a better watch if you binge it.
Probably. Especially after we get the finale next week, or the season finale. But yeah, Dave was, pretty right about this episode. It was setting up a lot. We saw Helena and her dreams, and we saw Rhaenyra going deeper and deeper off the edge there, not being able to use Helena's dreams to help her, not finding out if she has the favor of the gods, finding out that Daemon lied to her about Sheepstealer's rider and was hiding it from her, even though he had good reason. And you see that more human side of Daemon in this episode, which we have not gotten a lot of in this series. I mean, you feel for him in this episode, like he's torn between his wife, the queen, and his daughter, and he's not throwing his daughter under the bus, which we've seen other, people in power like Alicent do easily. She was willing to kill all of her sons off and everything else to stay in power and everything else. So, we saw a more human side of Daemon. We saw Aegon, who has been just, down and out, Rook's Rest, licking boots and stuff, getting his power back at the end of this. When that dragon showed up and the kid who plays Aegon, just the cackling in his face, feeling like, oh, I'm back and I'm about to take back my crown. You could see it. Larys even leaving him because he didn't feel he was useful to him anymore. He wasn't listening to sound advice. So, we'll sing songs about your death, but yeah, go off and die. I'm not going to. I have things to do. When we saw Thailand being the knight, and I'll stay with you and do that. There was a lot of really good things in here. Even the scenes with Aemond, who is also, as a Targaryen, who's not fully sane here, but not listening to Alice, trusting his mother, and being poisoned for it. And ending up coming in and falling on the ground in front of Alice. We're assuming he's going to be, healed here in the next couple episodes, possibly. The Tully army marching on, Tumbleton, feeling totally empowered. We took out Kristen Cole. We're marching on the rest of these greens. We're going to, take out. They're overconfident while Ormond is playing things in the background by getting, possibly 2 dragon riders to turn on him. So much going on, but it's all building and building and building, and we need to see it pay off. Like I said before, it was nice seeing Sunfyre come back at the end and, save them and kind of burn that army. Not that I want to see, people burnt or whatever, but it was good to see that someone who's down now getting back into power to be possibly a major player here for the last episode this season and next season. But it still was not what I expected. And I think Dave put it nicely, where coming in expecting this episode to give us a lot and then not getting it, that's my fault. But it still didn't deliver like I thought it would. And I'm really hoping we get it next episode. But for this episode is about a 7. It was well acted, well written, good things happened, but we need more. And I'm hoping we get that in the final episode next week.
Yeah, I have to agree with you two that I did expect more. Part of that, I guess, is on me. I had these expectations about what I'm used to seeing from these series, that I went in with high expectations, and you'd think I'd know better by now, especially after the Sonyverse, which we will not speak of. But like, I mean, yeah, I shouldn't have, or WandaVision, another one where like we went in with a lot of these, theories and expectations, thought something was going to happen. But I guess, I can't be disappointed when it didn't go the way that I thought it was going to. But at the same time, I still expected more to come out of this episode. It was fine for what it was, but yeah, it very much felt like a setup episode. Future Boy OG says that in the chat, that it felt like a lot of setup. And yeah, I kind of agree with that. It did feel very much like they were just getting everything ready, putting the pieces in place, getting the board set up for the final episode this coming Sunday. I hope that that one is better. I hope that they aren't going to disappoint us like the last episode of the last season, because that was that was a big gut punch when we're like, I'm sorry, we have to wait how long to find out what
all these armies are readying for battle and we're not seeing it?
Right. Exactly. Now, on the positive side, I loved seeing Kristen Cole's head on a spike. That was great. I liked trying to figure out what the hell Rhaenyra was dreaming about. Like, I still don't fully comprehend the eclipse and the snow, or was that ashes? And then at one point she's on what is her dragon's name? Dream something?
Dreamfire?
Oh, is it also a fire, a dream fire? Okay. Yeah. But Cole on a pole.
Cole on a pole.
Gee, that's great. Cole on a pole. That's so good. But yeah, like I'm sitting there like, we're watching all these, again, setup scenes, and then out of nowhere, Rhaenyra is just like Dracarysing everybody in, I don't know why. And then we see her with, I assume, all of her children, and then again, there's an eclipse happening, and then just kind of goes back to the rest of the show, and nobody ever brings it up again. I'm like, what? What just happened?
Well, no one else knows about it. Just her.
True, but like she didn't tell anybody. Like I don't know, whatever. I mean, I know she has no obligation to go and tell Rhaenyra anything, especially the way that she was kind of like, ordered, like, you will tell me what you know.
Dream about me, girl. No.
Right.
Not only that, your dream better be favorable.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which, oh, come on, Rhaenyra, you gotta chill. But no, while yes, Aegon II is kind of a psychopath, I was laughing with him. But also, a positive note, I'll give him this: he didn't know that Sunfyre was there. He had no idea that his dragon was even there. So kudos to him for standing his ground. And even though he thought about turning and running for like a brief second, it only lasted a brief second before he, unsheathes his sword, tosses the scabbard aside, cool move, cool move. And then he just starts screaming at him like, do you know who I am? I am not gonna bow to the pretender and to the usurper. I am the true king. And it's like, good for you, buddy. You're not gonna make it, but good for you.
Yeah,
might.
he matured quite a bit in that one scene.
Oh yeah, very much. So yeah, I'm kind of for the time being, I am Team Aegon until he does something overly despicable again. But yeah, so this episode, like Keith, felt very much just like a 7 out of 10. It was fine. You know, it was obviously, in my opinion, I think it was just above average, but not like amazing, amazing. It was fine for what it was. It was a good setup episode. I wish that there was more. If we were promised something more akin to like what we were expecting, then I probably would have been more disappointed and I would have dropped it even further. But the fact that we just assumed that it was going to be like the rest of Game of Thrones and Night of the Seven Kingdoms. So I really can't be mad that it wasn't.
No, true.
Yeah, that's on us.
Yep. And yeah. Jason Durham says 5 dragons on each side now if you include Helena. Very true. And I like this. Helena mentioned the moon in a previous episode. Here we saw an eclipse. Related, possibly? Oh, and he says, in my opinion, it wasn't an evil laugh. It was more of a holy crap laugh.
Okay,
was-
yeah, I guess I could give him that too. Yeah,
I think that's a good
I
point.
cannot believe this worked out. I literally just told them that the warrior was gonna come after them, and the what he mentioned a couple of different gods. Like, I was anointed by the sept, and if you strike me down, all these gods are gonna come after you. And so yeah, I guess in his mind, he's like, holy shit, I cannot believe that worked. My dragon just showed up.
He
Great.
was ready to be dead, and now he's like back. Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so I can agree with that.
Yeah, no, I can too. That makes sense. Well, all right, gentlemen. Oh, hold on a second.
Oh,
We still got news and notes, or
That's
notes
right.
and rumors, or
Are you guys ready for a little rumor mill rundown?
I am ready for some rumor mill rundown. Run me down, Keith.
Let me start off by saying this is according to the Apocalyptic Horseman, who did months ago post the comic book cover of the Punisher with a sniper rifle. Spoiler alert for a brand new day if you haven't seen it. But he's claiming Marvel Studios has locked in almost the entire cast of the X-Men reboot film.
Okay.
And on that note, they're now saying Drew Starkey is the front runner for the role of Cyclops in the X-Men movie. That's according to Doug's favorite name, the Insnider.
Such a dumb name.
And according to, once again, Jeff Snyder, the Insnider, Storm is going to reportedly be in Black Panther 3. And so Ryan Coogler is to be involved with her casting. So we don't know who that's going to be yet. We haven't heard anything, but up and Brian Mulhern is back. Let's see. That's the Alaska Bears, not to be confused with the Hammond, Indiana Bears. Heyo. Oh, Dave's hometown is Hammond. Very nice.
yeah, I was born in Hammond.
I don't get the reference.
It's a football thing.
Oh,
NFL.
okay.
Yeah.
And then back to the X-Men casting. This one is confirmed. Deadline reported it has been Samira Weaving, niece of Hugo Weaving, the Red Skull from Captain America: The First Avenger, has been cast as Emma Frost for the MCU X-Men. Fantastic choice. I was very worried Sydney Sweeney was going to play this part because everyone's fan casting her as it. This is a much better choice.
I agree with that. I don't have a very I don't think Sydney Sweeney's a very good actress. So
she's not.
I'm okay with
very
it.
attractive. Samira Weaving is a much better actress. You are the only one excited about that. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm excited for a lot of
He's talking about the Hammond Bears.
Oh, yes. And sorry for sportsing on your pod. You can talk sports anytime you want, Brian. We all
Just explain it to me because I won't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
As long as they have fun, right, Doug?
That's right.
And then some of the other casting we've heard, which other people are doubling down on. Charles Melton is going to be the Beast, and Kaylee Spaney is going to play Rogue in the X-Men movies. We've heard that before. We have other scoopers doubling down on that now. So
I
it may
do
be
wonder
true.
how you're going to surpass Frasier as Beast.
Nicholas Holt, you didn't like him?
He was fine. He was okay.
I'm most excited about the one he hasn't mentioned yet.
Well, let's get to that. The last one we've heard is that Jensen Ackles is being eyed to play Magneto in the X-Men.
Yes. Just his portrayal of Soldier Boy is like, that shows that he's like perfect for that role. He can play both sides of the fence and still come off, believable to both sides. I think it'd be great if he took that role. And he's just about the right age.
He could definitely pull it off. I think he does have the acting chops to do it. I don't know if it's going to happen. I guess I forgot who reported it, but it was a lesser known scooper. So, and then Brian wants to know who is playing Bucky Cap. That'll be Sebastian Stan. And Rich Rider Nova hasn't been cast yet, but I think we'll hear something on that soon. But yeah, Jensen Ackles, if it's true, I don't think he'll have any problems with this. I think he'll be good. Looking forward to hearing. Hopefully at D23 we'll hear the entire cast, or at least what has been cast.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a little update on Ryan Gosling's Ghost Rider is going to appear in Avengers Secret Wars before his solo movie.
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
This is going to sound weird. I don't even know that he needs a solo movie. I would be fine if they just gave us a special presentation to give us a quick background or something.
Not against that. And Jason Deering wants to go back to House of the Dragon for a minute. He says, so what if Aegon shows up in King's Landing? He's the true king, right? Would all the guards have to turn on Rhaenyra? Well, without them being paid, they might.
Yeah.
I was about to say, what guards? She really doesn't have many people left.
And honestly,
Westeros is here.
Yeah, and honestly, if the dragons go to Tumbleton or go to Harrenhal or something, and she's left alone there, his one dragon may be enough to get in there and take out Rhaenyra. So, I mean, that's a very good possibility. And yes, West of Westeros is back. I finally got to watch the episode. Let us know what your rating is, 1 to 10. Dave gave it a 6.5. Doug and I gave it 7s. Future Boy OG gave it a 7.5. And he did say, I knew Sunfyre was going to come back. I'm assuming that's from reading the book. I thought that for sure he was coming back when we saw in the previously on House of the Dragon, we saw him saying, oh, he's not dead. And he was kind of petting him. I'm like, Sunfyre will be back this episode. Then I started doubting
you
myself.
You wouldn't be showing us that. They should have ended the previous episode with Sunfyre will return.
They should have, yes. Yes, they should have.
Well, you were speaking of Ghost Rider in our rumor mill rundown a second ago.
Yes.
Now, if Ghost Rider is going to be in Secret Wars, will anybody else maybe helping him, telling him what to do type of... Mephisto?
Well, reportedly, Sacha Baron Cohen will return as Mephisto in Ghost Rider. Not Secret Wars. But he won't be the main villain, which would be very nice if we see him manipulating things behind the scene. Whether it's his son or something else. It'd be nice to build him up as a main villain down the line instead of, getting it all out in one shot. And then we've also heard that Captain Marvel 3 is in early development at Marvel Studios. Definitely going to be something that is post Secret Wars, but good to hear they're still, going to use her as a character. We know that there's going to be a cosmic side to the MCU with, Nova and Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff, and she would fit in nicely with them. So I hope that is the
And I
case.
haven't seen anything about a recast either, so that's still going to be Brie Larson,
Yeah, as
as
far
far
as
as
we
we know.
know. Yep, exactly. And then Spider-Man Brand New Day is breaking records all over town. It set the biggest Thursday night preview, beating Endgame, making $74 million on a Thursday, which is crazy. Ended up making 929
Wow.
million worldwide over the weekend. It's already crossed $1 billion. Some are saying it's going to cross 2 billion by next weekend, which is crazy.
I could see it.
What do you
I
think
could see it.
No Way Home would have made if it wasn't for the pandemic? Because that was released right after the pandemic, pretty much. First time we saw
And
a bunch of people in the theater, but there was still a lot of people that weren't going out that much.
yeah,
Like, I mean, Spider-Man is just a
I
huge draw everywhere. So it's
oh yeah, it's
understandable.
gonna be like one of the biggest. I mean, I really like Guardians of the Galaxy as far as like all the trilogies that they have, but
Hmm.
Spider-Man worked its way up there. It's got four movies. We got two more coming, two more solo movies coming. It's gonna end up, and I think they're just getting better and better. They're just building on the previous movies and every previous movie, even the you know gang up movies or whatever, where the Avengers
Yeah.
movies, they're all getting together, and they
And
just
I think
build
that's
and
what
build.
really
I love it.
helped Spider-Man was having him appear in all of those other movies. So, we didn't just forget about it, so he wasn't just relegated to his own movies. We got to see him originally in Civil War. We got to see him show up in Endgame and in Infinity War. We got to see him in like I think what would have been the icing on the cake, which I know Sony would have never allowed it. I think it would have been even better if we would have even gotten just a quick cameo in Daredevil season 2.
Would have been one of the things, we talked about during Brand New Day. There was a Kingpin mayor poster in the background in one of
Yep.
the scenes. And Kevin Feige did say getting Kingpin in a movie is not as complicated as Vincent D'Onofrio has said it was. So it
Hmm.
sounds like there's been some talk, and
Okay.
we may see that down the line, which would be fantastic. Oh, and let's see. And Future Boy OG says it gets IMAX next weekend, I believe. Odyssey was still IMAX last weekend. That's true. So it should be making some of that money. And West of
Nice.
Westeros with a super chat. We appreciate that so much. He says this episode 8.9 out of 10. It was a nice episode. Sunfyre with the muscle and Sheep Stealer getting tag team had me sad. I'd like to see how they play out Helena's story. She was on Dreamfire in her dream. Spider-Man was 8 out of 10 visuals heart. Yeah, you know, I definitely want to watch. I want to watch this whole season of House of Dragon again, just because I haven't always had time to watch the episodes twice and everything and drag it all in. As long as all of this build-up pays off at some point and pays off well, like if we get a phenomenal, season finale this Sunday, it'll make this episode that much better. So I'm definitely
Yeah,
looking forward to seeing how it all plays out. I think they've been doing a much better job, even though they're changing things from the book. It's still a good, I won't say fantastic. It's still good to great series. I look forward to it every
Oh yeah.
week. So,
Same.
oh, and then Jason said you didn't mention it beat Endgame for highest opening domestic weekend. Yes, you're right. I was getting to that too. It did as the highest domestic, opening weekend of all time, which is just amazing. I mean, everywhere. Like I lived by a theater, and the parking lot was packed all weekend long. And we went to the theater Thursday or Wednesday night. We saw the Fandango Amazon early one, packed everywhere. Every theater everywhere is packed, and it's good because it's a good movie, and I'm glad it's doing well. And we keep hearing Marvel Studios saying quality over quantity, and we've
yeah.
been getting that lately, and hopefully that continues down the line because that's what we need. And then Doug was talking about the Sonyverse a little while ago. So we heard from the Sony CEO Tom Rothman says there are currently no live-action Spider-Man spin-off movies in the works. Ultimately, the
Gee, I wonder
audience.
why.
Yeah, he says ultimately the audience wasn't satisfied enough with them. Whether that's a fair
Huh.
assessment of those new movies, who knows? That was it wasn't a fair assessment because not only were we not satisfied with them, they were abysmal.
We're so bad.
The first Venom was okay, and it just went downhill from there.
Yeah.
First Venom was entertaining.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Second one was kind of like, I'm not sure they understand this character that well. And
It
the
was
third
also
one was
really
god-awful.
forgettable.
Yeah.
The third one was an ice cream turd in your mouth.
Nothing. Keith's silver lining was flying away from him in fear over the hatred and anger that he had over that Venom movie.
I need to go back and watch that at the theater because I was a little angry. I don't get that way often, but when I do, it's because Sony's making Spider-Man spin-off films.
Oh, I thought it was because you were drinking Dos Equis.
That too.
Oh
And
god.
Future Boy OG says all 3 Venom movies were objectively bad, but I love them, LOL. And that, like, objectively, the first Venom movie wasn't good, but I enjoyed it because of Tom Hardy, and I thought it had a little style and stuff, and was enjoyable. But then, yeah, the next 2 just kept, with the third one being just, I couldn't even stand to watch it. It was so predictable and poorly acted and written. It was.
And then we get stinkers like Morbius and Craven, and then the creme de la creme, Madam Web. Sony, the amount of failure that you were able to pack into one movie is, it's applaudable. It is amazing how you were able to take such an easy premise and screw it up at every turn with terrible visuals, terrible ADR, horrible lines, horrible dialogue, actors that did not know anything about the characters or care.
Actors who thought they were in the MCU.
Oh, she was in the MCU.
And the fact
Or
that
Dakota
Tom
Johnson.
Rothman has the audacity to say whether that's a fair assessment of those movies, you should be forced to watch your own movies.
Right?
That's all I'm going to say. You sit and watch those movies and come out and say, they were pretty good. It was quality.
I have
all the way to Peru.
I've rewatched a couple of those movies since then. I haven't rewatched did I rewatch Morbius? I don't think I did. I haven't rewatched Morbius. I did rewatch Craven only because my dad turned it on and I was like kind of like curious. I'm like, "Are you watching Craven?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's good." I was like, "Oh no."
Oh no.
And Future Boy OG says, so bad they are good. I don't know about that. They're so bad.
It's like Daredevil or Batman Forever.
And then West of
Batman
Westeros
Forever
with
is
another super chat. Thank you
adorable.
again. I think Endgame was majestic movie plot because it has all the key characters, half who died as cliffhangers, and have us starring in space. I might be drink beers. I'm not proofreading, LOL.
I kind of figured.
But yeah, I mean, Endgame was really just well done. It was enjoyable. It, finished off that entire Infinity Saga, and they finished it off well. It was entertaining. We saw the characters. It hit all the notes we needed to hear. We saw Thanos get his arm chopped off. And Jason Durham says, I love how Sony get the praise for Spider-Man when MCU does all the work. And they just
we
sit
don't
back
give
and do
Sony the
nothing
praise for that.
and probably get half the box office. Yes, Marvel Studios makes the Spider-Man movies for Sony. They get paid a flat rate, and Sony reaps all the rewards. So you will definitely not hear us giving any praise to Sony.
No, the only thing that Sony has accidentally gotten right was the Spider-Verse movies, and somehow they're screwing that up because we have no idea when the next one's coming out.
Yeah, it's been years since the second movie, and hopefully soon. And Future Boy OG says, Deadpool Wolverine plot was really bad, but every scene was awesome. I wouldn't say the plot was really bad. Simple, really
it was a Deadpool plot.
yeah, it was just getting Ryan
Don't
Reynolds
think
and Hugh
about it.
Jackman together to
Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
fun. It wasn't the greatest plot of all time, but man, so many good scenes in that and so much fun. And we gotta, see Blade back. And while we're speaking of, there's only been one Blade and will only be one Blade. Mashallah Ali says he is no longer starring as Blade. And to quote him, he says, "For whatever reason, that project isn't for me. If they wanted to do it, we would have done it. So I have to move on. I have moved on. Marvel didn't want to do it. They should answer that question." And from what
Yeah,
we're
it has
hearing,
been what, 8 years,
yeah,
right? 7, something like that, since they announced it. So I don't know, all of us were all pumped for it, and that was it.
it sounds like they just had different ideas of what this movie should be, and couldn't agree on it. Couldn't, the old creative differences kind of ruined it, which is sad because man, he would have been a great Blade, and it probably would have been an extremely entertaining movie. But hopefully,
When I heard they were going to get Tom Cruise to play Lestat, that was it for me.
wow, Anne Rice characters in the MCU, that's fantastic.
Well, I know you'd love it too because you're a big Tom Cruise fan.
And Future Boy OG says Wolverine was an anchor being, LOL. It was kind of silly, but the fact that he was digging him up to bring his bones out, that was pretty funny. And West of Westeros says, have a good night. Thank you, you too. We will obviously be back next Monday talking about the season finale of House of the Dragon. I will not be here. I will be in Florida with my family, but Dave and Doug will be here, so hopefully you can join them, hear about it, enjoy your evening. But we do have a few more rumors. So now this is according to Dread Central. Batman the Brave and the Bold is ready to go.
What does that mean?
Does
that mean that the script is ready?
That's how I took it. That the script is ready, and they're going to start pre-production, casting, and everything else. Obviously, the Batman Part 2 is releasing next year, so I don't think we would see it before 2028. But it sounds like if this scooper is to be believed, they've got a plot, they've got a script, they've got what they need to move forward. So hopefully that is true. And then we've also heard this week that the Blue Beetle animated series has been quietly stalled by HBO, with some reports saying it is dead in the water due to its young audience demographic. They have yet to formally cancel the series, but if it is canceled, DC Studios can shop to other streamers. Which
I hope so.
I hope to see it.
I was looking forward to that. I would really like to see it. I liked the Blue Beetle character in pretty much all of his appearances. I thought that he was good in Young Justice. I thought that he was really good in the DC animated movies when they were doing like the Judas Contract and some of those other Titans versus the Justice League. Good appearances of him there. So yeah, I was looking forward to seeing him in animation again.
Same. Blue Beetle was fantastic in Young Justice. And Future Boy OG says, was the Penguin show any good? Didn't see it. And yes.
So good. So good.
Dave Kinchis is right.
You're
10 out of 10.
If you're not sure, we have an entire playlist of our reviews. Check those out. If you want to just like watch one of the reviews, kind of get a gauge of whether you think it'd be worth sitting down to watch. But I'm telling you, it's a really good show.
You will not be disappointed. Go watch it as soon as you can. It was phenomenal. And then Jason Durham says, if you took Spider-Man and the PlayStation brand away from Sony, would they even survive? Probably not.
And they're doing their best to kill themselves on the PlayStation part of it too.
Pizzas, they're losing their minds with that.
Yeah, taking away physical media from the PlayStation has not went over well, and they are acting like it's the greatest decision they've ever made. Yep. And now we've also heard, according to Boris Kit, that the Booster Gold series is not moving forward at DC and HBO. And then we got an update on this that says Booster Gold may still move forward, but with a new creative team. So it sounds like for whatever reason, the previous writer hired and the showrunner wasn't working out. So we may get Booster Gold, but it just will not be with Camille Ninjani or the writer that they had hired. Which I hope, because Booster Gold's a cool character. Would be good to bring him in. Hopefully weave in the Legion of Superheroes because he's from the future with Superman and everything else. I think that would be a good way to go.
Yeah, he was on season 9 of Smallville. Hit the button. Yeah, and those were entertaining episodes where it was trying to steal all of Superman's saves. Good stuff.
Yes, with his knowledge of the past, he kind of knew what he was doing. And that it would be, written well. It could be really good. Universal Booster Gold. Not
okay,
sure
like a universal phone charger?
Oops, Paramount, that is. Oh, yeah, if they do get... Now, the Paramount purchasing of Warner Brothers has been put on hold by a judge, so hopefully that does not go through. But finally, our last little bit of news. Solo Leveling Beyond the System anime movie is announced by Aniplex and Crunchyroll. So we did review the first season of Solo Leveling. I rather enjoyed it. Dave, not so much. Doug enjoyed it, but it sounds like we are getting a movie to finish it off. We might not be reviewing it. Who knows? I guess it depends on how busy we are when it comes out. If we're got tumbleweeds rolling with Star Wars and DC and Marvel and everything else, we might just talk about it because I enjoyed the show.
Yeah. Good. Marvel next year will be pretty barren from what I've heard.
Yeah.
They're kind of straying away from live action series, and they only got one movie coming out next year. So it might be a slow year for Marvel. I mean, a lot of rumors are going to happen for next year for Marvel, but not a lot on the screen, I don't think.
Yeah, we get Daredevil Born Again season 3.
And probably an X-Men 97's.
X-Men 97 season 3.
And then what else? The movie. We got
maybe Friendly
whatever,
Neighborhood Spider-Man.
if it's going to be Secret Wars or what's that?
I said Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man season.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
3, possibly 2.
That, compared to the norm, it's not much.
No. And once again, as long as they're using that time to finish scripts,
Quality.
Make things better, I'm all for it. But I do hope there's been a lot of rumors that Disney Plus is moving away from the live action Star Wars and Marvel shows. And I hope that's not the case. Still make them, but make them like Daredevil Born Again. Make them like The Penguin. Make them do high quality programming. Don't set some unable to reach goal of we're having 4 live shows a year and 3 live action movies.
Yeah. Stick with your quality over quantity. The thing is, they can work. They can work. We saw it with Andor.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
and The Mandalorian, the first 2 seasons.
The executives have to stop thinking that, these are just comic book people. They'll take anything we give them. They got to stop thinking that because obviously they did think that for a period of time. And that's just not the case. We comic book readers still need quality entertainment. It just can't throw a bunch of cameos in there and have us go, ooh, that's so cool. We're not going to do that.
So I don't know if you responded to Future Boy OG saying, talking about the Marvel C and D tier characters.
No, I was just about to bring it up.
All right. Go ahead.
And Future Boy OG says Marvel needs to stop trying to make C and D tier characters a thing, in my humble opinion. And I think with them getting the X-Men back and Fantastic Four, I think that's what the next saga is going to have, which Marvel Studios didn't always have all of these A-list, characters.
Oh, yeah,
we're going to be
exactly.
seeing,
which is why they started with Iron Man, which was a C-list character at the time.
And they definitely turned him into much more. So
the thing is, it can work. It can work with the right writers, right director. Honestly, this is going to sound weird, but I think when you've got a lower budget to work with, it makes you, I don't know, work with what you've got. And I think that might have been what worked in his favor, was the fact that they were trying to establish themselves as a movie studio. They had this grand idea. We're going to. I don't even think they had thought of an idea of making this interconnected universe, or even getting to the point of making the Avengers movie. I think they just wanted to see if it would pan out, because they started with Iron Man and then went on to a safe bet with the Hulk, at least in their minds, because the Hulk is a much more known character, much more recognizable than Iron Man. So you can see they're doing like their little A/B testing. Okay, what's going to pan out?
And yeah, I mean, for the most part, they did a pretty good job, but unfortunately, they started getting, and I think it was the CEO of Disney who was starting to
That's what I
mandate
think too.
how much was needed to be put out, because if we put out 4 Marvel shows and 3 Star Wars shows a year, our subscriber count will jump to this. But like Dave said, you can only produce so much high quality stuff a year, and they were just starting to throw stuff out that turned people away. And understand
Because like Ironheart
She-Hulk.
should have been better than what it was. It was okay, but it had a lot of plot holes, and there was a lot of points where we're like, what are they doing with this? Because I've read the comics. I like the character of Ironheart. I've seen the animated series. And I was a little disappointed with how it played out. So the thing is, you can do these characters right. They just don't always.
Yep. And Future Boy OG says, in the comic world, Iron Man is A tier. Iron Man, Thor, Cap, Hulk are the only Avengers with nonstop solo comics since the 60s. True, they sell. But like, even though they sell enough to keep an ongoing series, like Iron Man was never in the top 10. It was always X-Men, Spider-Man. And then Avengers started selling much better with the movies that were coming out and selling.
Oh yeah.
Avengers
Yeah, Iron
were
Man
always
is
good.
is definitely A tier now, but at the time when that movie came out, he was not.
Yep. He's saying maybe B plus tier. LOL. And by the way, speaking of She-Hulk, I heard you, talking about She-Hulk. Jessica Gao, who was the showrunner and writer on that, there was an article about her and how she clashed with, Kevin Feige, and how she refused to bring any actual lawyers on set to help with the scenes. And I guess she wanted the Kevin bot at the end of She-Hulk to wear a hat like Kevin Feige wears. And Kevin said no. And she said, well, if you're not going to let me do it, I'm going to resign. And he was like, okay, accepted.
Good for him.
And I didn't know if this was true, so I looked it up. This article said she has no credits since She-Hulk 4 years ago, and she does not.
Wow.
Well, she did write one of my favorite episodes of Rick and Morty.
And that's what Pickle Rick was, the thing that they say got her the She-Hulk series.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Huh. I did not know that.
And I guess...
Well, obviously, there was, there wasn't as much in the tank as she thought.
Yep. Well, there was even some controversy with her writing that episode and getting... Like, her and Dan Harmon clashed a little bit over the therapist that Rick had, being smarter than Rick. And Dan saying, Rick's the smartest guy in the universe, and that's the show about him dealing with it, and you can't have it. So they kind of clashed on it. And he, went on a podcast with her, and she was kind of telling him, oh, you can't be this misogynistic and blah, 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 and all this other stuff.
Was that misogynistic?
Because Rick was the smartest guy in the universe, I guess.
But that was established from the beginning.
No, I don't.
That's
But
not.
that's just Rick. He's not just misogynistic. He talks down to everybody.
Yeah, it's not just women; it's everybody, including his family. So yeah, I was reading a lot of stuff about, and I don't know if all of it's true, but it sounds like she has burned a whole lot of bridges and not working anymore because of it.
Huh. That's a shame. That's a shame that that happened.
Because she's good at writing for green characters.
Green character. That's good. Uh,
Yeah, but that's all we got. I don't know if you fine gentlemen, we got like three people on Twitch. I don't know if we should raid somebody tonight or what you fine gentlemen are thinking.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, let's see who's out.
TG is still on? That's crazy. He was on when we came on.
Yeah.
Huh.
I got Melabunny, Bubble, A-Tray, Flake of Wrath.
I'm good either way. Whatever you guys want to do. But I will say this before we, end up closing out for the evening. I just want to remind everybody one more time about what we said when we started the stream. Once again, our good friend Chris, Father of the Fandom, unfortunately lost his house in the wildfires in Washington. If you can donate, we ended up putting the link there in the chat on both Twitch and YouTube. I'll go ahead and share it again on YouTube, and we'll probably end up putting it in the description as well. But if you can help, do us a favor, go to their GoFundMe and give if you can, give what you can, or if you can't, just share it if you could. Obviously, we know how that it's not easy to try and start from nothing, and the fact that they lost everything, it's good that their family is safe, but the fact that they now have to rebuild from nothing, that's going to be tough. So, any help that you can give, it would be appreciated. Hey, fellow nerds, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of this stuff, make sure that you check out our Twitch stream. We try to do these live Sunday or Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Keep an eye on our social media to find out when you can join in live and chat with us during these live streams. Also, as usual, don't forget to check out our other social media. Add us at Twitter, comment down below, and we'll see you next time right here on Not Your Status Quo.